Hello, good evening. It's Friday. It's 7:30. We are back for the Arsenal Women's Show here on Over and Over and Over Again. Obviously, we missed a week because there was no games due to the international break, but we're back. A lot of things to talk about. Obviously, there's a big game this weekend for the Arsenal women in the FA Cup semi-final. That's going to be great as well. So we'll look ahead to that. Obviously, there's international games to look back on as well. There were some good games for some of the Arsenal women players during that break as well, which is nice as well. And as coming up, we're also going to be looking at the draw for the Euro 2022 tournament next summer. Of course, a lot of the Arsenal women will be involved in that competition, especially for the Lionesses, of course, the host nation for that. So we're going to look at that draw as well. So loads of stuff to get through. So we better get started. So, this is the Arsenal Women's Show. We are back again, and joining me, as always, is, of course, first of all, Andreas. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad. Good evening. Yeah, I'm glad to be back here again. Hope you're fine too.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I say obviously we had to. It's been a while since we've been on due to lack of games really that we've played, so it's been a bit of a break. But maybe it's given a chance to come back refreshed, ready for what's going to be a big few weeks actually for the women's team, as we'll get into as well. And of course, as always, coming back again, it's Matt. You're okay? I know you had a bit of an illness problem last time, but you managed to make it on. Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm fine. It was just a little bit of a cold or a flu. I'm not too sure, but I'm fine. Got better, so I'm glad to be here again, which is the main thing. We're here to talk about the women and their accomplishments over the past couple of weeks, so that's good news.
Yeah, exactly, it is. And Amar will be joining us as well. He's just running a little bit late this evening. He said it's nothing to do with his audio problems this time, so that's good news after last time when we had a few issues hearing him. But he said it's nothing to do with that, but he will be joining us very, very soon when he's around. So he'll be popping in as well. So, yeah, so we've got a few things to talk about. Not so many games to look back on because obviously Arsenal haven't played since the was it the Everton game was the last game? No, it wasn't. It was a Hoffenheim game, wasn't it? It was the last game that we played, the Hoffenheim game, which obviously, we spoke about that on the last show, which was a great performance, as we know. But of course, there has been in the meantime some international matches, some qualifiers for the World Cup and stuff like that. And I say that there was some quite good performances from some of the Arsenal women, as we'll get into now. Obviously, the highlight for me personally was that hat-trick from Beth Mead against Northern Ireland. 14-minute hat-trick after coming off the bench. I mean, an amazing performance from her. And of course, she did score again at the weekend as well. The latest game against Latvia as well. So certainly she's been in great form. I mean, Andreas, you must have enjoyed Beth's hat-trick in that game.
Everybody enjoyed this, and it was the opener in this match. And for Beth, it was like a dream come true to score at Wembley, and then a hat trick at Wembley in 14 minutes. Or it couldn't be better for her, and it shows in what perfect condition she is. She can't stop scoring. I read, yeah, that's right, and that's perfect for us. The self-confidence she takes from these two matches, and yeah, it's great. Yeah.
No, it was. I mean, the first England women's player to ever score at Wembley as well, apparently. So, and of course, the first hat-trick as well. I mean, incredible performance, actually. I mean, I got the feeling that maybe she was a little bit disappointed not to be starting the game, maybe in the first place. So she perhaps come on with a point to prove. And what better way to prove a point than to score a hat-trick in that time? I mean, there were some great goals as well. The first two in particular were really good finishes, weren't they? They weren't just like simple goals. She had to work hard. I mean, I like the second goal, the way she finished that first time on the volley was a great goal, wasn't it? I mean, Matt, you must have enjoyed that performance from Beth.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where we see in these qualifiers when these, I don't like using the word little teams, but the smaller countries who aren't well invested in the women's game, they come out with a plan. It's mainly to defend and try and see if they can get something from the game, whether it's a point or 3 points. It's up to them. But it was great to see how Beth did. Yeah, I think it was quite different for her to be from going from starting 11 with club to you're on the bench, and she proved her point, rightly so. It was great to see her score that hat-trick, and I don't even know if it's the first hat-trick because I can't remember. One of the FA Cup finals was a 10-0 loss. I think Man City beat Birmingham 10-0 or something like that. So I'm not too sure if if it is the first hat-trick at Wembley for all women, but it's a good good way to make your mark and tell the manager, hey, I'm still in good form. Don't mess me around.
No, exactly. And I feel as though she did have a little bit of a point to prove due to the fact that she was on the bench where, like you said, she's been starting games regularly for Arsenal and even for England as well. So, yeah, maybe it was a little bit of that the coach wanted to maybe freshen the team up a little bit, try a couple of different things and stuff like that. But ultimately, it ended up, the game was all about Beth, wasn't it, with those fantastic goals. We've got Amar's here now. Let's hope his microphone's working.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Brilliant.
Hey. Good, mate. Good.
Fantastic, great for you to be involved. I know we've only just really started.
No, that's fine.
And obviously, we were starting on the fantastic hat trick for Beth for England, of course, at Wembley last weekend, which was incredible, wasn't it? I mean, you must have enjoyed that.
I watched the game. Well, we have to, was it say, for the first hour or so, I was impressed by the way Northern Ireland set up. But then you got all that quality and strength and depth off the bench, and a good manager who knows how to bring out the best in their players. It's just so refreshing to see that somebody can just go on and know what she does best and carry on the form that she showed at Arsenal. So no, nobody was expected it to be such a quick cameo, but yeah, that was pretty special, to be fair.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, and we said, we believe it's the first hat trick by an England women's player at Wembley. It was the first goal by an England women's player at Wembley in the first place, the first goal, and then there may have possibly been one in a sort of club game previously. We're not sure, but
White scored one of them. When did she score one? Was it against Germany when we lost?
I think that was Ellen White, wasn't it?
Ellen White scored one of the goals in a friendly. So it wasn't really the first one, but I think it's the first one for a while that we've had at Wembley.
Yeah, that's right.
Possibly in a competitive game, perhaps, because if that was previously a friendly,
that's right. Because it's not friendly. That's right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it was great. It was Beth that got the goal, and I say to get the hat trick as well was just incredible. And we all enjoyed that. And obviously, as I said before, she went on then to score again against Latvia in that 10-0 victory, which was again good. And of course, as well, Leah Williamson scored in that game, and she's been for me, she's been probably, I think she's been probably our most consistent player this season for us, and also for England as well. I mean, Andreas, what have you made of Leah Williamson? Obviously, her performances for England have been impressive as well, haven't they?
Leah is just living her dream. Yeah. Could she imagine these things happen? She came to the academy. She's a regular starter for her club, for Arsenal. And now she's a regular starter for England. She's captaining England for the fourth time, and 4 matches with her as a captain, 4 wins. And the second time I think she scored when she was captaining England. So she's living her dream, and she's playing with such strong performances and also such self-confidence from the back. And before the season started, I saw an interview with her when she said she wants to improve. She wants to be one of the best centre backs in the women's football world. I think she's on the way to fulfill this.
Yeah.
Fantastic performance again from her, and
I mean, she's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I can't really, in both of those 2 games for England, I can't remember her giving the ball away. Every time her passing's perfect, nearly every time. She wins all her tackles, all her headers, and she's doing this for Arsenal week in, week out. I mean, we're seeing it every single week for Arsenal, and she's also now doing it for England. Yeah, to be captain as well is just amazing. What a great season that she's having. I mean, I've been so impressed with her. It's just she's getting better and better every game. I mean, Matt, you must have enjoyed her performances for England as well. I mean, we've got two really key players for England now. Obviously, looking ahead to the Euros, we'll come on to the draw a bit later on, but looking ahead to that next year, we've got some key players. Obviously, some of the Arsenal women's players are key, aren't they, to the England side as well?
Yeah, and we've got some good ones coming through as well. We had the under-23s as well play a game, and Patton was part of that as well. So it's not just saying, is it, I'm going to say her name wrong.
Serena
Weigmann. I'll just
Weigmann's
say
right as well, actually. Weigmann's right as well.
Yeah, I'll say Weigmann. She's set up the under-23s, hasn't she? So just to say, if you're not in you're too old for the under-21s, you're not quite there with the senior squad, but here's the 23s, just get you up to gear. And perhaps maybe next year they might be looking at some of these players for a World Cup. Honestly, just from an Englishman perspective, I didn't understand why Ellen White was starting. She's not really done. Every time she went to play, hit the ball, she was off. She was well off her game, and I just thought, you know what, just take her off. I was just so frustrating.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, Beth England obviously is a replacement for her, and she's obviously in great form for Chelsea as well. So
she scored as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think it goes to show that maybe Ellen White's days are maybe numbered as being a regular in the England team by next summer Euros, possibly. We'll see. But yeah, I think Beth England should be starting more games. Actually, I know she plays for Chelsea, and we don't want her to do well for Chelsea, but certainly she's done well. I mean, obviously Emma Wooben-Moy as well. She's sort of broke into the England team, hasn't she? And every time she's played for England, I think she's looked great. Actually, I know we've spoken about her before. Maybe sometimes she lacks a bit of concentration, and she didn't have a great game against Hoffenheim recently. But for England, every time she's come on, she's looked great, hasn't she?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen from when she's played at Arsenal, I mean, yeah, she's maturing, and she's not only popping up with goals, but she's proving to be a very reliable centre-back pairing for whoever Leah plays at the back, whether it be Jen. We've got so many good options at the centre-back, but whoever we want to put out there. And yeah, she's looked good. She's been passing the ball with confidence. And even when she had a short cameo against Northern Ireland and came on, I don't know how long it was she came on against Latvia, but she looks very calm and assured as well. And I always put that down to the way she's been coached at Arsenal, not only by Jonas, but also having that serial winner in maybe not a serial winner, but Serena is a winner, as we well know.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I mean, it's that could potentially be the centre-back partnership at the Euros, couldn't it? An Arsenal pairing, because, if Arsenal continue having such a great season and those two keep playing well, that could be the centre-back partnership. I know there's some competition there. Obviously, Steph Houghton as well, when she's fit, is going to still probably be in contention still for a place. But
Millie Bright.
Yeah, Millie Bright as well. Of course, she scored as well, didn't she, the other night? So, I mean, Andreas, did you watch any of the other games during the international break, or you didn't get to see many?
I could only see the first match from Germany, versus Israel, and the Germans won 1-0 in Israel. This was very disappointing, and I think nobody was satisfied with this. The rematch this week was 7-0, so this was what the team can bring, and it was really a bad performance in Israel. And the only positive thing was that Germany won 3 points. People were saying too many matches in the league and the cup and Champions League and everything. I said, well, other teams like England, like Sweden, they also had the same players involved in Champions League and league matches and the same pressure. So it was not a good match from Germany, and I think the Germans will struggle next year. We will talk about the draw later. It's a difficult group, so England did a better job.
No, it is a tough group for Germany. We'll come on to that, and it's going to be a good tournament. But yeah, I mean, I suppose in international football, in the women's game, is still, I think there's a bit of work to do, because there still seems to be quite a gap between the good teams and the lesser teams still. Obviously England are winning 10-0 quite regularly at the minute, which we like to see as England fans, but ultimately it's not perhaps a good advert for the women's game, is it, when you get matches like that? So but yeah, I mean, did any of you two guys watch any of the other international games? Did you see Holland or anything like that, any of the other Arsenal women's games? Did you watch any of them?
No, but I can just looking at some of the results. Katie McCabe with Northern Ireland losing to Sweden.
Northern Ireland.
Yeah, Northern Ireland. Oh, sorry, Republic of Ireland.
No. I was wondering. Yeah,
I'm going to get hung on I for that. I'm sorry. Sorry.
England played Northern Ireland. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, and then winning against Finland. So Katie's had a bit of a mixed international break. Frida drew one of her games as well, 0-0. To be honest, one of the commentators during the Liechtenstein games suggested that the League of Nations would perhaps do a little bit more. So I was just wondering what your thoughts would be on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I mean, I want to see a little bit more competition in the women's international games. I think, as I said, you get in too many high scoring games, which you don't really want to see. It kind of almost diminishes international football when it's like that, doesn't it? And I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it? Because there is still a big gap between the top and the bottom, and I don't know how you even it out. It's difficult to do, isn't it? And unfortunately, when you've got qualifying games, you get 2 or 3 of the better teams and 2 or 3 of the weaker teams, and that tends to be the way it goes, I suppose. But ultimately, it's the tournaments that everybody's bothered about, aren't they? They're all worried about the Euros and the World Cups and stuff like that, and you want to see the best teams playing in them, don't you, I suppose? And I guess next summer we've got an opportunity for the Euros in England as well, haven't we, to see some great football, and I'm sure that's going to be a great month next summer. And hopefully, obviously the England men got to the final this year. Hopefully next year the women can go one step further and actually win it. I think we'll have a good chance, but we'll talk about that obviously later on as we go along as well. I mean, Emma, did you watch any of the other games? I know you kind of like the international games as well. Did you watch any others, or did you just see England?
No, I mainly just watch the England ones, but I do check on because I get YouTube on my TV. They do have highlights of they even have full match replays of the other ties, but no, I don't really catch them. I just look at the results and see on the Twitter who's doing well and who's scoring. So yeah. I think you raised a good point there. Emma Hayes was actually saying on the commentary on the other day during the Latvia game, there are too many instances of one-sided matches, and something needs to be done. We could also say it's akin to like when the likes of the top European superpowers played the likes of San Marino and teams like that. So I mean, maybe something has to be done about that.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because it's an opportunity for those lesser nations, if you like, to play against a big team. Sometimes it's good experience for them, but it doesn't maybe do the game overall a lot of favours sometimes, does it? It's nice. I say it's nice to see England win 10-0, but ultimately England aren't getting a lot out of those games, are they? Really, no, because they can play in second gear and still win comfortably. So it is a problem, I guess. Nigel's in the chat there. He says evening, chap. Evening, Nigel. He says, goes on to say there. Nikita Paris seems to be underperforming for both club and country. Without having seen her play for Lyon, I nevertheless had high expectations as a goal threat. Yeah, I mean, I think she's been working hard, actually. I think she's worked hard in the game she's played for England, and she works hard for us. It's maybe not quite happening in front of goal for her. I'm not quite sure if she's playing a slightly different role in the team, perhaps with us, as she has done previously when she's maybe scored more goals. But I've been disappointed in her goal output, I would say. I expected more goals from her. I mean, what have you made of her performances, Andrea, so far, for Arsenal in particular?
It's difficult to say. She didn't play as a number 9, and therefore she has a lot to work and to try to create chances for the others. And so it's difficult to do both: create chances for others, have a lot of work to do, and score. So I think she's doing a good job, and of course, everything concentrates on Viv as a number 9. So I'm not disappointed by Nikita. She does a good job. Not she's not over the expectations, but it's okay so far. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disappointed with her performances necessarily. Just I was expecting maybe a few more goals from her. That's all. You know, she hasn't scored in the WSL yet after 5 games. I was expecting she'd have got a couple by now. So, you know, that's my only disappointment. Not really of how she's playing. I think she's playing quite well when she's played. She works hard, and you know, she's doing well for the team. I mean, what have you made of her, Matt? Have you been a little bit disappointed in the goals that she scored, or do you think they'll come anyway?
I think, to be honest, once you've come back from a league, it takes you a while to reset yourself.
Yeah.
So she's come from France. It's a bit different over there. And the only chance you really get to play with WSL, play Super League players is when you're with England. Her movement off the ball is amazing, and I think those goals will come. I know she hasn't done it in the league yet, but it will come. And whether it takes her until January, maybe with a topic coming later on, maybe I might be able to elaborate that a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm hoping that the goals will come. I'm sure they will, because she's always scored goals throughout her career, hasn't she? So I believe that she will. It's just, I was expecting maybe a few more. I mean, Emma, what have you made of Nikita so far? Did you think that, you know, she's going to be fine? I mean, she's not playing badly, is she? Let's be fair.
Wow. But the competition now for places, especially at Arsenal, not just also Lionesses, arguably, is like really fierce, isn't it? And she showed in the cup tie against Spurs that she has all round. Look how well she played in that. But I don't know if she started. Somebody will correct me on this. I don't believe she started every game for us so far, and it's difficult when you've got so many players who can play in that position and can do what they're doing so well, like we saw with Beth, like we got with Caitlin Ford as well, for example, or maybe on the centre. But yeah, I mean, after what she did with City and Lyon, it's not going to be easy for her to come back and do what she was doing then. So I mean, given time, I think she'll be quite a useful asset for us in going forward.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I don't suppose it's helped her the fact that Beth Mead's playing so well, and they kind of playing a similar role, don't they? So it's been difficult for her because, you know, you're not going to leave Beth out either, the way that she's been playing. So I suppose that she's got that bit of an issue as well, unfortunately. Mark, I was in the chat. How you doing, Mark? Thanks for tuning out. You're enjoying the show. Nigel says, to be fair to Nikita, the competition for place at Arsenal. Yeah, we just mentioned that. Yeah, exactly, it has been, and it's difficult, isn't it? If you're not starting regularly, to get in the team when they're playing so well is hard. And she's going to have to make the most of the minutes that she gets. I think she's playing well enough, but, you know, she's maybe not quite scored the goals that we all anticipated that she may have. But I agree with you, Emma. I think that once she's, and what Matt says, well, once she's settled into the league again, I think she'll be fine. And she just needs a bit more minutes on the pitch, maybe, as well, which is difficult when, like you said, the competition is fierce, isn't it, at Arsenal, especially in those forward areas. I mean, you know, it's hard to get on the pitch at all sometimes. So, obviously, you know, it is a big game this weekend, as we know. Semi-final of the FA Cup, exciting times. I know it's last season's FA Cup, just to be clear, not this season's one. But it's an exciting time, a difficult game, but probably we spoke about it a few weeks ago, the draw that we perhaps wanted, and we got it. So we will look ahead to this big game. Of course, the news today is that Viv's not going to be involved on Sunday. She's being rested. She was rested for Holland the other night as well. It's been an agreement between Arsenal and Holland to rest her because of the Olympics and stuff like that. She's not had a break, so they've decided that. And to be honest with you, I was surprised initially when I heard that, but when you think about it and you look at some of her recent performances, I think she's looked a bit tired. And I think maybe she has needed a rest and a break, and I think this will do her good. It's disappointing because I think it's a big game, the FA Cup semi-final, and it won't be easy, as we'll come on to. But it's juggling it, isn't it? Do we want her to be fresh for the Champions League and the WSL games we've got coming up, or and maybe risk that we've got enough to beat Brighton without her? It is probably going to be the right decision. I suppose if we lose on Sunday, then we'll all probably say it wasn't. But she needs a rest. I think that's obvious. But it's still going to be. It'll be a tough game anyway, because Brighton, as we know, on their day can beat anyone. They're in great form, actually. I think they've got 11 wins from their last 16 games, going back to the end of last season as well. So they're playing well, Brighton, and they did beat Chelsea, as we know, last season. I mean, Andreas, what are you making of this game, and what do you make of the decision to be resting Viv? Do you think it's the right thing to be doing now?
I think it's the right thing. She had an amazing start of the season when she scored the opener against Chelsea and Man City. But in the last 2 or 3 matches, I think everybody saw she was a bit tired. And not tired that she didn't didn't run or it was tired in her head, in her mind, I think. And therefore she needed the rest. And I think if we would choose her Brighton match, the Netherlands wouldn't have said that they give her a rest for the Belarus match. So sort of compromise. We will give her the rest against Belarus if you rest her against Brighton too. So we see that she really needs this time. So it was the right decision, and I think she will pay back. I'm sure she will pay back with performance, with goals. We know, when she's fit, then she scores, and so this is the right decision. Yeah, and this is a chance for someone like Nikita to play. I don't think that Caitlin Ford will start because she was in Australia, had the long flight and the jet lag. So I think Caitlin will be on the bench. So probably there will be Beth, Keats, and maybe Mana, who had a rest because Japan didn't play this international break. Yeah, it will be a tough match, but so far we were lucky that no one came with injury. To the contrary, Simon Boye is back, so nearly the whole squad is available, and yeah, it's a chance for players like Keats to show that they are too.
No, exactly. It is an opportunity for other players to step in and get the goals that we would have expected Viv to provide. So, and I suppose if there's one area of the pitch, as we've already mentioned, where we've got the strength in depth, it is in the forward areas. And I guess now is probably a good time to be resting Viv. Yeah, it's disappointing because you want to see her playing because she's such a great player. But it is we've got to get the balance right. We've mentioned it before, haven't we? That the number of games this season, with the Champions League as well, 2 FA Cup competitions as well. So there's a lot of games to play. And I think she's looked tired actually the last few games. So I think it's probably the right decision. It's a shame. It's a semi-final. It's a big game. It's a big competition that we want to win. So it is getting that right, isn't it? Getting the timing right. And hopefully it'll work out well. She misses the game, gets her rest, and we still win and go through. And then everyone's happy. But I mean, Matt, what are you expecting from the Brighton game? Because obviously on their day, as I said, they can pretty much beat anybody. And they've shown that, haven't they? And they won a great run of form back end of last season and the start of this season as well. I mean, they've had a good start to the season. So it's going to be a tough game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those tough games. I don't know which way it's going to go, to be honest.
You'll probably think we're going to lose like normal, so that's fine.
I'll probably end up saying something like it's going to be 0-0 and it will end up going to extra time and Brighton will win 1-0 in extra time. And it'll end up being Arsenal in about 5-0 time. That's usually what happens. So I'm glad to go against the grain because they're proving me wrong and it's kind of like a good luck charm at the moment. So until that changes. But I've got some stats here already. So Arsenal are the top goal scorers in the competition at the moment with 24, including the 10-0 win against Gillingham. Albion have kept 4 clean sheets in the last 5 FA Cup games. Anyone want a bit of a throwback? Anyone missing a certain Dutch girl from Lyon? Well, Brighton because she scored 5 and 6 against Brighton last time. So, and just for a bit of added kick, both teams have in Brighton's last 3 away games, they've won 1, lost 1, and they've scored 7 and let in 3. Arsenal have won all 3, scored 12, and only let 1 in. So we're in for probably going to be a tight game.
Yeah. No, I agree. And of course, as well as Nigel says in the chat there, it'll be good to see Danielle Carter again. Of course, she obviously was a great player for Arsenal. Helped us to win quite a lot of trophies, played a lot of games, scored a few goals as well. So it'd be nice to see her. Hopefully she doesn't have a very good day. But it'd be great to see her again, won't it? And Nigel also says there, I don't suspect that Brighton will have as many internationals in their squad. No, that's true. Very true. This could be an almighty slog. No, I agree. I mean, I think it was going to be a difficult game anyway, because I think Brighton are a good side. They've got a good coach, as we know, in Hope Powell. So it was always going to be tricky. And the internationals probably hasn't helped. But as Andreas pointed out, everybody seems to have come back fit. Obviously, we're missing Viv, but other than that, we've pretty much got and possibly Caitlin as well because of the travelling. But other than that, we've got a good, strong squad to choose from. So hopefully, we can push on. I mean, Emma, what are you thinking of this game? It's going to be difficult, isn't it? Because Brighton are a decent team, aren't they now?
Yes, no, they've really improved. They would have said that I would say that they've separated themselves from the pack, which you would have said. Sorry, I'm just getting my words mixed up a bit here. Sorry, I would say they've separated themselves from the pack, which they said would be below those teams. They always said, the Chelsea, Cities, and Arsenal's are always top, but if there's one team that could possibly, I know that people speak of Everton, but they haven't really lived up to their billing yet, but Brighton could be one of the teams that could really consistently test those top teams, as they showed last season. If you remember, when they drew with City, they won at Chelsea, and having such a good coach as we know from the years at England, in Hope Powell, the players they've got, they're building towards something really good there. So, as I said, as you guys have been saying, it'll be a really difficult game, but I'm still feeling pretty confident because of our strength and depth, and it might be a bit of a struggle, but something tells me we might just be a little bit too strong. We'll have to work for it, but I still can see us maybe try and think of like 3-1 or something.
Yeah, no, it is going to be a tough game actually, and I don't think anybody would expect anything different. Of course, Brighton have been in the news as well, haven't they, for the new training facilities and stuff that they've brought in as well. And as you said there, Amar, they do seem to be a club that's on the up, and in 2 or 3 years' time, they could be one of the teams really challenging us, challenging Chelsea and City for a place in that top 3 possibly. They're certainly heading in the right direction. They've got some good players actually. Obviously Danielle Carter, as we know, and of course they have got one of our goalkeepers on loan as well, haven't they? Fran Stenson's on loan. She's not really playing that much. She's on the bench for them, but she's gone there on loan, so she'll be coming back as well. But yeah, I mean, we know that Brighton are going to be, as Matt said there with the statistics there, they're tight at the back. They don't concede a lot of goals, and it's going to be a hard game, and I think we're going to have to be at our best, I think, to go through. I mean, one stat that I found actually that Matt didn't say, we've played Brighton, I believe, 7 times, and we've won 6 and drawn 1, and they've only scored 1 goal against us. So certainly those statistics sound a little bit more positive and optimistic, don't they? Than maybe something that Matt was saying. But ultimately, cup games are not the same as league games, are they? No. And the one draw actually that we had with them was actually in the League Cup, the Conti Cup.
I think it was penalties.
The other one that I put down.
It was penalties. So they are capable of getting a result against us, I guess, in a one-off cup game. So it's certainly going to be difficult. But Andreas, I want you to give us a score prediction. Be a little bit more positive than Matt, please, because he's always down, isn't he?
It's always difficult after an international break and knockout match. It's totally different to a league match, and you want a goal prediction. So I'll be careful this time. I say 2-1 for us.
Fair enough.
2-1. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be unsurprising, would it? Because I think it's going to be a difficult game, and we should have too much firepower for them, even without Viv. But they don't concede a lot of goals. I mean, what are you going for then, Matt? Are you gonna stick with your extra time and whatever?
I was going to say extra time penalties. It's probably not written that it's going to be like a 0-0, but it'll probably be one of those games where it's one. I would like Brighton probably score last minute to make it 1-0, and then goes extra time and penalties.
But we do win, don't we? We do win, though, don't we? Yeah, we do go through.
Oh well, I'm hoping so. Last time we didn't do very well with penalties, so. But then again, that was 2 years ago, so a lot of this team has changed since then.
Yeah, had a different coach, a different mindset, maybe as well. So we'll see. So are you going with 3-1 then? Yeah, is that your prediction?
I'd say 3-1. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm confident that we can win, but I know it's going to be difficult. I think that defensively we've been pretty solid. I'm going to go 2-0 just because I don't think Brighton will score, and I think we will have too much for them going forward, and we'll get even without Viv. And maybe Keats will get the goal. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? For her to get the important goal in this game, maybe get the first goal and stuff. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, for her as well? Maybe give her a bit more confidence as well. So yeah, we'll go for that 2-0. We get into the final, which will be something we can talk about. Obviously, the other semi-final is. The kind of one that we didn't want to get, which obviously Chelsea against Man City, which is going to be a cracking game, I would imagine. Although
it would be a good game,
City seem to have turned it around a little bit recently, don't they? They had a poor run and they seem to have been improved slightly. They've got a few more players back from injuries and stuff like that. So what are you making of that game, Andreas? Obviously, it's going to be a good game, isn't it? Or it should be, potentially.
Yeah, this is a very tough match, and I don't know who is coming back from injury for Man City, but Chelsea will have the problem with Sam Kerr, who was in Australia, the same situation as for Caitlin and Steph on our side. So I don't think that Sam Kerr will start, but they have Frank Kirby, Pernil Harder, who is perfect start in the season. Beth England in a very good condition. Normally Chelsea are the favorites in this match, but maybe this will go to extra time, and then it's open. Maybe in extra time a win for Chelsea.
I mean, let's be assuming that we do win our game. Who would you prefer to play in the final?
Oh, Man City, definitely.
You prefer Man City and Chelsea, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously we've beaten them both, haven't we, this season?
Yeah,
so,
we have, but I don't know.
I think the stronger team is Chelsea from
by far, I would say.
I must confess, I'm not living in London, so I can say this. I like some of the Chelsea players. I like Frank Kirby or Sam Kerr, and it's fantastic football players. And so I would prefer to see Chelsea in the final, but I think it's the stronger team and the more difficult task for us if we qualify against Brighton. So let's first do our homework.
Of course, we need to be in there first. I think their game's actually before ours, though, isn't it? They play first and then we play after, so we'll know who's gone through before we play. Not that it makes a lot of difference, because you've got to bear in mind that by December, when the final's on, most of Man City's injury problems will probably be over. They'll have most of their players back, and they'll be a lot stronger perhaps than they have been. So they'll certainly be a lot stronger than when we beat them 5-0 a little while ago. So either way, it's going to be a tough final, isn't it? Whoever we have, if we get through, of course, whoever we have to play. But let's just get through first and worry about the final in December, because there's a lot of games between now and then anyway. So let's hope that we can focus on that a little bit later. I mean, Matt, who would you rather we face? Should we get there? I know you don't think we're going to get through, but if we do manage to squeeze through, who would you rather we play in the final?
Well, if we get through, I think it's quite hard, because we both had Wembley troubles with both of them in the past, and with this team, do you know whether or not they're going to be able to get over that or not? Maybe some of the Lionesses will be able to get over that because of their playing for England. Leah's quite well, though for her age, she's quite experienced, because maybe that sort of experience will carry them through. Even Jordan Nobbs, who again wasn't called up for England,
bizarrely,
but whoever we get, it's going to be one of those games. If you get Chelsea, do you really want to come up against Emma Hayes, who's going to be on a rampage after you? Especially when you just beat them to a last minute goal, a Beth Mead goal that's potentially offside. Or do you want to go against for a Man City team with Steph Horton, who will probably who's willing to put everything on the line, and Lucy Bronze, who's probably one of the best right backs in the world right now. It's a tough call, but to be honest, I'd probably just take Man City, just because some of them might not be right there when that final hits, because we still got internationals.
Exactly, and they obviously, a lot of them players have been injured. I mean, I think you're right. Obviously, Emma Hayes isn't going to want to lose to us again, is she? So quickly, if we play, obviously we'll have to play them in the league again, but she certainly wouldn't want to lose to us in the final, having already lost to us in the league. And you know how upset she was by that goal, as you mentioned. So revenge will certainly be on her mind that day, without if that so happened to be the final. So that would be difficult. What about yourself, Amo? Who would you rather play? I know you said Man City before. Would that be your choice?
Well,
should we be cheering for Man City on Sunday?
I don't know. We'll just watch our two great semi-finals and see what happens at the end of the day. I mean, they had the international break. I know people say a lot about the injuries. Yes, they missed so many key players. They started to come back. if you think about it, the international they've still got, they should still be. It should still be. I don't know if the manager's not getting the best out of them, or maybe the players aren't responding. But you still see that after the losses they've suffered, now maybe they'll be a bit rejuvenated after the international break. But I just can't. If Chelsea, even though with all the internationals they had away, I just don't see how City compete with that. There is a stat where I don't know if, again, correct me on this if I'm wrong, but there is a stat where I think Chelsea's only win ever in 7 years playing Man City away in any competition was the Conti Cup semi-final last year. So I mean, let's see what happens. But I mean, I think everyone wants a dream final to beat Chelsea, Arsenal, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think obviously, I think Chelsea are a stronger team than Man City anyway. They've shown that in the last few years, and as you said, you know, the results as well. But I in a way, I would kind of get more satisfaction beating Chelsea in the final than beating Man City. It'd be much more enjoyable, wouldn't it, to beat Emma again? You know, because it would give her the right arm, wouldn't it? So that'd be quite funny. But no, I think obviously I think we can beat. But we don't need to be scared or frightened about anything because we're playing really well. We've beaten them both, as I said already. So you know, what will be will be. Let's watch their game first, enjoy that game, see who gets through, and then hope that we finish our job up and make the final as well. You know, which is what we all want to see. Nigel in the chat there said about Lisa Evans. How's Lisa Evans getting on at West Ham? She's struggled with injuries in the past. Not sure how likely she is to claim a position in the squad next season. Yeah, I think with the competition that we've got, her place has dropped down even further. I mean, I've not really seen too much of her at West Ham. Have you seen much of her, Andreas? What she's been doing at West Ham this season? I've not really seen too much of her.
No, I haven't either.
She played 1 or 2 matches and then she was injured, but now she came back and I think she played for Scotland in the international break now.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So
yes.
I'm sure she's back, and it was the best step for her to go out on loan, and she gets minutes there, and she wouldn't get much playing time in our team. We have Noel Maritz and Anna Patton on her position, and it won't change next year. But let's hope that she gets her minutes at West Ham, and she seems to be satisfied there. So that's the best for both parts. No?
Yeah, she does. I mean, I've seen she does a sort of videos, doesn't she? Yes. And she seems to be enjoying us. Yeah, she seems to be. I quite enjoy watching them. They're good, and it's good that she seems to be happy and enjoying it herself at West Ham. You know, which is good to see. But yeah, maybe she may end up moving there permanently, perhaps at the end of the season, if that goes well. I mean, have you seen much of her, Matt? Have you seen her play this season at all for West Ham?
Not really, no. It's only really the vlogs that I've been watching. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's nice to see that some of these players that are going out online, they're getting some experience or they're considering their next options. If Lisa does go to if she does go off to West Ham in the summer, then that might convince Viv to stay as well.
Yeah,
they're like a super, like a duo. You can't separate them.
No, exactly. No, I agree. I think if Lisa stays in London, it would be perfect from that situation because Viv's much more likely to stay with us than move abroad if she knows Lisa's still in London. So that is going to be a big factor. Let's hope that one way or the other that can happen, I suppose. I mean, do you think Lisa Evans will come back to Arsenal and Martin, or do you think this is her done now and she's going to end up moving on permanently?
Yeah, I mean, it brings me back to players who have actually started off pretty well. If you think back to somebody like Emma Mitchell, who also ended up going on loan and then left the club. I mean, I don't want Lisa to be a similar case, but it is difficult for her to get back into the squad because for so many years it's forming an integral part of our squad going forward under Joe. But I mean, with all the options we've got now, it's, as I said, it will be extremely difficult for her. But I mean, I'd like to see her come back, but who knows? I mean, if she's happy at West Ham, to stay there and do what's best for her. I mean, but whatever happens, I think she's been a great servant to this football club, and we wish her all the best going forward.
No, of course, exactly. Yeah, she has been. Yeah, and we all obviously wish her well. And at the end of the day, like Andrea said, she needs to be playing football, doesn't she?
Yes.
because she wasn't, she's been injured a lot. She did not play for us at all last season, hardly. And
Yeah.
it's good that she's going to get game time at West Ham. Then maybe she can assess herself at the end of the season, assess where she wants to go with her career.
Yes.
And it may well be moving on, perhaps to West Ham, may well be the best thing for everybody. So we'll see what happens with that later on. Nigel says they're 3-0 to Arsenal. Well, that's a nice confident prediction. There you go, Matt. It's not difficult, is it, to be optimistic? Nigel's gone straight in with a 3-0. So there
I
you
don't
go.
want to jinx it.
No, you're right to do that because it's working so far this season. Nigel says we've done well against Chelsea in FA Cup finals, men's, well, the men's in particular. Yeah, we definitely have in the men's side of things. We've won 3 finals against Chelsea men, haven't we, recently? So that's nice to see. And Nigel says that Emma Hayes earned her stripes at Arsenal. We should be doing more to retain such coaching talents. Likewise, Katie Stoney. I mean, Emma Hayes has done really well, and you can't argue with her record. I don't particularly like her. I've got to be honest. I don't particularly like her, but anyway, you can't argue with her abilities as a coach. I think she's brilliant. Yeah, I just don't particularly like her. And every time we beat Chelsea, I really enjoy it because you see the look on her face. She clearly doesn't like it, and she gets upset, and it's quite nice to see.
If we beat her, you and I should celebrate in front of her. But let's see.
Yeah, well, no, she would. Yeah, she enjoys beating us as well. So it's one of those. Beating Chelsea is more enjoyable for me because that's one of the reasons, because that she's not going to be happy, and it's quite nice to see. But anyway, you can't knock her record. She's a fantastic coach, and she's done a great job.
Successful coach in the WSL.
She's got inducted into the Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah, of course, and deservedly so. I mean, her record speaks for itself. You can't argue with what she's done, can you?
She's 10 years coach for Chelsea now, I think, and
10 years, yeah.
And look how much trophies she won. So she's a really good coach. Yeah.
Yes, she is. Yeah, I just don't particularly like her, but anyway, that's just.
You could argue that she earned her stripes under our greatest coach, Vic. So there you go.
Yeah, quite well, exactly. She did. She wouldn't be as good as she is without that background at Arsenal, because that's how it works, isn't it? So
no one will ever surpass Vic. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I did wonder if she was going to get the England job at one. I thought she was going to get the England job, if I was honest.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I think she may well do in the future. I mean, she's she's still relatively young, isn't she? So she's got plenty of years ahead of her. I'm sure she will at some stage be the England manager. I'm sure
she probably will. What she's holding out for.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm sure she seems happy enough at Chelsea, doesn't she? I suppose winning trophies that she's winning and competing at the top level. So she can't do a lot more, but I'm sure one day she will become the England manager, whether it's the next England manager or later on down the line. I'm sure she will, because as we say, you can't deny a record. It's fantastic, and that's why beating Chelsea, I think, means so much more, because how difficult it is, and to get a result against them. I mean, we all enjoyed that this season, didn't we? And let's hope that we can beat them a few more times this season as well. Hopefully at Wembley, maybe if they get there. Of course, they might not yet. Who knows? We'll have to see. So yeah, I mean, we know it's going to be a tough game on Sunday. It's going to be good. You're going, aren't you, Emma? You're going to the game?
Yes, I've got a ticket. Yes, I'm going. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah, it should be quite. Do you think it'll be quite a big crowd? And I think it could be a decent crowd.
Yeah, no, it's about 1,600 there for the Everton game last time. But being a semi-final and a chance to get to Wembley for the first time in 3 years, let's hope we get the fans on as many fans as we can in there.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, I mean, I think could be quite a good crowd, actually, because the weather seems it's going to be reasonably good over the weekend. So hopefully we can get a few people out.
And it's half term as well, so all the kids will be off. So that's even better.
Exactly. And it's been payday for most people as well, so people have got a bit more money. So maybe it's a good weekend to have the game on. Maybe it's Halloween as well, so I don't know whether that might. But anyway, they can come out, they can go trick or treating after the game, can't they? The kids? But no, I mean, hopefully we get a big crowd in, because they deserve a big crowd, and it'll be a good atmosphere. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, Emma, and it'll be good.
It'll be great.
It will be a good game, I'm sure as well. Let's hope that it's a good game from our point of view. Before we get on to the Euro draw, I did want to sort of talk about this briefly, actually. Of course, we've got a nomination this week for in the Player of the Year on I think it's for the BBC Personality of the Year thing, isn't it? I think that's what it's for. And
BBC Women's Footballer of the Year, yes.
Yeah, the Women's Footballer of the Year, and obviously she's up against stiff competition. We've seen the list. The list. It's going to be difficult, but once again, she's been nominated for the Ballon d'Or. She's now nominated for this. And we've even mentioned before that maybe she's not been quite in the best form recently either. So it just shows what a great player she is. I mean, Andreas, it's great that she's nominated another award, but what do you think her chances are looking at the competition there? There's some big players in that list, isn't there?
Yeah, it's great that she's nominated, but we all know what she said, that she's not playing for personal rewards, for personal trophies, but for trophies with the team. So I think she will be out, okay, but for her, it's not the most important to win this.
No.
If she could choose winning a Champions League match or WSL match or winning Player of the Year, she would always prefer to win a match with the team. So it's great that she's nominated, but if you look back to the last season, to be honest, I don't think she was the Player of the Year in the WSL. Of course, we all are Arsenal fans, and we. If I could vote, I would give her my vote. Of course, yes, because she's an Arsenal player. But to be honest, I think Fran Kirby would deserve it. She had a fantastic season, and with all the background, she came back from this heart illness, and she had a fantastic season. And
she did.
Yeah, I think she will win this, and of course she deserves it. To be honest,
was she in the shortlist?
Yeah,
I thought we wasn't sure what shortlist you were talking about there. Sorry.
The BBC Player of the Year.
Yeah, no, I thought Sam Kerr was in there, not Kirby.
I think Sam Kerr's in there as well.
I thought it was Hansen. It was Hansen, Lawrence, Piteus, Kerr, and Miedemar, wasn't it?
Oh, is Frank Kirby not nominated?
No, I think Frank's been nominated for that.
Oh, that would be a surprise if she wasn't.
Sam Kerr, Ashley Lawrence, Miedemar, and Alexia Putellas.
Yeah, it's 5. It's always 5. It's always 5.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, then. Well,
I don't want to cut you short there, Andreas, but I don't think she was nominated.
No, I assume she would have been. I know some of the players that are on the list. I didn't really check them all. I just assumed that Fran Kirby would have been nominated. I totally agree with Andreas. I thought she had a great season last year, and she's had a great start to this season.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure who picked that shortlist necessarily. I mean, they're great players on that list. Let's not forget, but to leave Fran Kirby out is a little bit harsh, maybe on her actually when you think about it.
I think it looks at Europe as a whole and who's done well over in the Europe. Yeah, if you think how Barcelona did in the Champions League as well, maybe that's what took that into account.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously Sam Kerr's got a nomination. I know she won the Golden Boot in the WSL, but Fran Kirby was just as important to Chelsea last season. They reached the final, didn't they? I mean, Arsenal didn't really do a lot last season, and yet Viv's got a nomination. So I don't know. I mean, obviously we want Viv to be nominated, but maybe I don't know. That seems a bit strange. I assumed that she would have been. So yeah, that's a shock actually. That's kind of surprising a little bit because But anyway, I agree, Andrew. So I'm not so sure she's got much chance of winning Viv. I think that there's other players maybe that just ahead of her, Champions League and stuff like that. I think you've got to take that into account, haven't we? The Barcelona players obviously are going to be the favourites, probably one of them, I would say. But ultimately, with the BBC, as far as I'm aware, we can actually vote ourselves here. So if enough Arsenal fans vote, you never know. We may be able to get her to win it, perhaps, but it should be nice. But it's good, obviously, Matt, it's good for her to get a nomination, isn't it, in these things? Because, she's getting recognised in all the top awards, isn't she, Viv? And I know, as Andrea said, it's not about that for her. But from Arsenal fans' point of view, it's nice, isn't it, that one of our players, I mean, I think maybe there could have been one or two others with a chance. Beth, obviously, at the minute is in great form. I mean, it's good that we're getting recognised, our players are getting recognised as well outside of Arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah, and the more important thing is these sorts of awards are ways to inspire the next generation. We think about people with families or nieces and nephews who might have an interest in football and maybe play in the future, and they'll look at sort of like when I was growing up, I look back at Dennis Bergkamp and one of the Kelly Smith, Rachel Yankee, Alex Scott, just some of the names that I can throw out that were playing at the time when I was growing up. They're going to be looking at Viv, Fran Kirby, all these sort of players and going, I was there growing up and this is what inspired me to play. Whether or not she gets the awards, it's going to be a tough one because Arsenal fans do like a good vote. And knowing all the Chelsea fans, they'll all vote for Sam Kerr, who personally I don't understand how she's gotten on there. So I hope that someone can maybe perhaps hack the vote and maybe make it one. They'll probably hack it and give it to either Hansen or Patelas. But
Yeah, I mean,
is this Viv we're talking about that?
Oh no, I'm just talking about the vote
Oh,
in
okay,
general.
sorry.
If Viv can win it, it's going to be good. Probably gets more Arsenal fans in the vote as well, which is always a plus.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Arsenal fans do like voting for these kind of things. I wouldn't be surprised if Viv does well on the voting side of it, even though when you look at the players she's nominated against, you know, if she did win it, would she be totally deserving of it? I don't know. Obviously, we'd be happy that she wins it. But, I mean, I agree, mate. You make a good point here about inspiring future generations. And I think this season, because of the extra TV coverage, particularly the WSL's been getting, I think that's going to be really important as well. You know, a lot more people now, a lot more young girls in particular can see the WSL and be inspired by these great players. And there are some great players in the WSL, you know, getting nominated for Player of the Year. But I agree. For me, out of all the players I've seen this season, I only saw one game live, was against Barcelona. I thought Hansen was brilliant in that game, actually. And if that's how she generally has been playing all year, then she perhaps would deserve to win it, possibly. But fantastic player. But anyway, obviously, I'll be voting for Viv, and let's hope that she can do well. I mean, obviously, Emma, you must be obviously happy that she's nominated, but she's probably not going to win it. If we're honest, she probably wouldn't deserve to win, perhaps, as much as we love her.
As I said, as the boys have been saying, I mean, it's difficult because we didn't do much in the league and other competitions last year. But if it's purely based, or not purely based, but if a larger part of what she did would be based on what she did in the Olympics and blitzing everybody there and winning the golden boot there. So there's a case for her. But I mean, if we're looking on the whole, I think it will probably be Sam has a good chance of winning it, but CGH, as we know, she's different class with Barcelona, Proteas. They've got such a good squad there. And Lawrence, who's a really solid defender. I don't really watch much of the French league, but yeah, she's made PSG a lot more solid. So it will be a difficult for Viv, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just down to who people see as the best. And I mean, good luck to her. I think she was, if I remember, she was nominated once before and was runner-up to Lucy Bronze. So I mean, let's see what happens this time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I forgot about the Olympics. That's a good point, because obviously she did well there, didn't she? So that may, you know, just perhaps why she has got nominated. I mean, not that I don't think she shouldn't have been. You know, she's a great player, but you just look at maybe from club level what she's maybe achieved at club level this year as opposed to what other players have. But yeah, it's great she's nominated. Let's hope that, you know, the Arsenal fans do the right thing, vote for her. And certainly we don't want a Chelsea player winning it, do we? So if you're going to vote for anybody and you don't want to vote for Viv, certainly don't vote for don't vote for Sam Kerr. Vote for one of the Barcelona players instead. Just because we don't want Chelsea have won enough. They don't need to win anymore, do they? You know what I mean? We need to stop them winning a few more things, because they're winning too much. So yeah, you know, we need to make sure that
absolutely.
Nigel in the chat says the Arsene Wenger film is out in 2 weeks. It is, yeah, that's going to be good.
Yes.
Will you be reviewing it, Richard? Well, I'll certainly be watching it. Yeah, I may well do a review on the channel. I imagine we'll be getting some insight into some key moments in our recent history beyond prevailing media narratives. You say that, but his book didn't really reveal an awful lot, did it? So I'm not sure that this film will. Let's hope it does. I mean, it would be great. It's going to be great anyway, isn't it? Looking back on the Invincible season, but yeah, I will do some stuff on that when it's out. I'll watch it and see where we are. But it's going to be great, isn't it? It's going to be a great couple of hours watching that film. I'm sure we'll all watch it and enjoy it, and it'll be fantastic. So, but yeah, let's hope there are a few more revelations. Because I say the book was I enjoyed Arsene Wenger's book. I was just a little bit disappointed that he didn't maybe reveal a few more insights behind the scenes, maybe with certain incidents that we all remember that wasn't really mentioned too much. So yeah, hopefully that the film might go into some of those things a little bit more. But we'll see. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks' time, maybe, and see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, obviously, as I'm sure we all are. Well, the last section today, and what we're going to look at is, we did mention a bit earlier, obviously the Euros next summer. It was a draw this week, exciting draw it was. We all enjoyed that, I'm sure. So we just need to maybe have a look at that. I mean, obviously, from our point of view, the two kind of groups that we're mainly interested in, of course, is the group with England in and with Germany, and for Andreas, of course, as well. So we'll talk about them, mate. I mean, I think from England's point of view, funny enough, it's a very similar group, isn't it, to what we got in the World Cup qualifiers, the teams that we're playing at the moment, which in a way is good because we're used to playing them, but equally it's not good because you want to be playing maybe other teams, don't you? Teams that you don't play quite so regularly. So, and obviously Germany have got a tough group, as you mentioned before. I mean, Andreas, what have you made of the draw? Maybe talk about Germany first there, because obviously from your point of view, it's a tough group, isn't it?
The German group is a really tough group, and we have Spain, we have Denmark, very, very strong teams, and I think they all could qualify in this group. Spain, you only have to say Barcelona. Look what Barcelona is playing. Of course, they have some players from other countries, but Spain will be a very tough opponent, and Denmark, they have Pernille Harder. This is always difficult to defend her, and the German team didn't play well in Israel, as I said before. So it will be a tough group, but well, it's a chance for the young players. Germany has a very young team, so and we have players in WSL. Melanie Neupolz at Chelsea. She brings some England experience for her. It's a home tournament. So, of course, I hope Germany will qualify in this group, but it's the strongest group, and the English group is better, but not as easy as some said, because look how difficult the match versus Northern Ireland was. It was 4-0, but how long it took us to score the first goal, and the opening match versus Austria will be a tough one too.
Vicky Manu, exactly.
If Vicky Schneiderbeck is fit, she's captaining Austria. This is also interesting.
And of course, there's the Austrian player who plays for Wolf the team we played the other week. I've forgotten their name briefly. Hoffenheim,
Nicole Villa, player of the year in Germany.
So they've got some good players. Austria, I agree. I think that's going to be the toughest game. Probably the first game's always hard anyway, especially when you're hosting a tournament. It's a tough game anyway, and to have that one first, you would maybe like that one last when you've maybe already qualified, and it doesn't matter. But to have it first, it's a really tough start actually. I mean, Andreas, do you think Germany will qualify from that group? I know it is tough, but do you think they can do it? Do you think they can get through?
I think Spain will win this group. It's my opinion, and then it will decide between Denmark and Germany. I hope Germany will make the second position and qualify for the next round.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to maybe England-Germany game later on in a tournament.
I don't want
the final would be nice, wouldn't it?
My dream final,
yeah, it would be a final.
Cool final, exactly. Yeah,
it would be a great final, and I mean, we've got a decent record against Germany in finals. We've only played one and won one, so that's not too bad, is it? But I know we haven't got a great record against Germany in general in tournaments, but in the final we've done all right so far. So we'll see. I mean, Matt, what did you make of the draw? Then you must be. I mean, it's a toughest draw for England, but you'd imagine that we should be strong enough to go through, even if Austria are going to be the biggest test, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think one of these. I think the great thing about this, because it's only 16 teams, you can see more of some that, like Belgium and Iceland. You don't really hear much about these teams, so you're probably going to see some of these next season in the WSL, which will be good for them. Just looking overall, this is how complicated our group is that our England most of our England players will be coming up against Manu and Schneiderbeck. They'll be also playing Frida as well. You've got a boy who could be playing against Miedema. You have Maritz and Walty and Goot also playing.
Miedema.
Sorry. Boys playing for Denmark. She'll be playing against Germany and Spain. Sorry, I got that wrong.
Oh, it happens, mate. Don't worry.
It's interesting. It's certainly some interesting games, isn't there? And some interesting matchups too. As you said, obviously Switzerland are playing against Holland, aren't they, in the group? So that'll be a good game.
It's going to be really good games. I'm hoping that again this will inspire other teams to maybe look into women's football a little bit more. This tournament will probably hope maybe they might even after this tournament they might decide to expand it a little bit more. Maybe go up to 24 teams like they did at the other Euros. Because
possibly, yeah, they might do. I mean, I think this is a big tournament for women's football in England. Obviously, with England being a host nation and the games being played all over the country, I think it's a big summer actually for women's football in this country. And I think that if the tournament's a success, particularly if England do well, I think that's key as well. But I think if the tournament's a success and there's big crowds in and stuff like that, it could really give the WSL a big boost for next season as well, because I think some of the top players in this tournament are going to maybe come and play in the WSL next season as well, aren't they? Some of the top players over in Europe. So I think it's a big summer actually, and I think coming on the back of this season with the new TV deal, it's come at a good time, hasn't it, for England to be hosting this tournament next summer. It's almost the perfect timing for it, and let's hope that it goes well. I mean, it looks like an exciting tournament, doesn't it, Amar? Especially, I say, being in England for us. I mean, hopefully we can get to some of the games. I'm certainly looking to get to 2 or 3 if I can.
Yeah, and I think I was watching yesterday as well. Alex Scott made the point that when they last hosted in 2005, there was a lot of players who were still only semi-professional, and look how look how much the game has developed in the last 17 years in that time. So I mean, it will be great for women's football in general, put on the map even more after the last World Cup, and I think they will be capable of hosting a tournament, bring all the fans down, and let's hope that they do a good tournament and England can go far and then finally get to the past the semi-final stage. But looking at the groups, I think they've got a good group, but even if they win their group, to face one of the runners-up in that Germany-Spain group will be extremely difficult. So you've got to take it game by game.
No, exactly. It's a C group, actually. So I think it will be probably either Switzerland or Netherlands.
Oh, I thought it was Germany. I thought it was winning to win Group A. I thought they were to run up in Group B. Oh, I don't know.
It's complicated because
it is a bit complicated. Yeah.
I haven't really looked at the draw beyond the group stage at the minute because I just wanted to kind of obviously who's going to get through now, but ultimately if we get through to the knockouts, it's going to be tough anyway because they're all going to be great teams in it. So obviously Holland are the holders, aren't they? So we wouldn't necessarily want to play them too early on in the competition, would we? I mean, Nigel in the chat there says, who are the favourites to win the tournament? He says, admittedly, he hasn't watched a lot of the women's Euro. I mean, obviously, Holland won it last time, although we've got their manager who won it with them last time. So, we've got a very good team as well. So, I mean, I think England are one of the favourites, actually. Obviously, Andreas has mentioned Spain with the Barcelona connection. They're going to be strong. I mean, who else do you think, Andreas? Who would you say would be some of the favourites to win it?
I would also mention Sweden. Look how great job they did at the Olympics. So Sweden is one really competitive team, and of course never forget France. They are older and of course a lot of experience there. Yeah. There are not as many young players as we have in the English team or in the German team, but France is still very strong. So I think France, Netherlands, Sweden, Spain, England,
possibly, yeah.
And
Denmark,
don't forget Norway.
Norway, yes.
We saw Caroline Graham Hansen playing against Arsenal in the Champions League. It was fantastic, and Frida Mannum. We see her week in, week out, very good performance. Norway is also a strong team. It will be a fantastic tournament, and also the tournament, it will be very important that England goes through the group stage. Yeah.
No, I think so. Obviously, being a host nation, I think it's vital that England do well. And looking at the squad that we've got, and obviously the manager that we've got as well, who's got a great record, everything is looking in our favour. And if we're ever going to get to a final and maybe win something, it could well be next summer. I mean, the men almost did it when we were playing at Wembley in the final and stuff, and we didn't quite get over the line. But let's hope that it can be a good. I want it to be a good tournament for women's football, actually, especially the spotlight on it in England as well. And I think hopefully everybody gets behind it. Hopefully the country get behind the tournament as well. And I say you get big crowds in. I mean, Matt, who do you think might be sort of, obviously apart from England being a massive favourites, of course, to win it? Who else are you looking forward to seeing it in the summer?
Well, I've gone from Spain, Germany, Netherlands, France, then England. But to be honest, I would probably say it could be one of those ones where anything could happen. the Euros always throw out a random team that do quite well. So you might see Italy come second and then surprise everyone by beating one of the big teams. We saw it last year with France getting knocked out in penalties in the men's version. So it'll be quite interesting to see how this all goes. But I'm just excited for it all. I'll pick my favourites, but I wouldn't be surprised if none of them are right and Sweden end up winning it, or Norway.
Well, Norway, maybe.
Frida picks it up and just carries it to the Arsenal dressing room.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd love to see England win it, especially at Wembley, the final. It'd be fantastic, and I do think we've got a great chance with the squad that we've got. I really do. I think we've got a great chance. But ultimately, if England can't win it, then what I do want is I want a nation that's got an Arsenal player in it to win it. So at least an Arsenal player can win the Euros. If it's not England, hopefully it'll be one of the other Arsenal women that can win it. But let's hope it is England, because we could have 4 or 5 of the team, couldn't we? The way the season's going and the players that we've got, I say Woober Moy could be in there. Paris you'd expect. Obviously, Beth's going to be there playing Williamson as well. So we could have half the team almost. It'd be great. West Ham have always said that they won the '66 World Cup because they had a few players in the team. We can say, we won the Euros for England in 2022 maybe if we do it, but a long way to go. I mean, Emma, would you make England favourites, or certainly one of the favourites? Who else do you think?
The pressure will be on. The pressure will be on England to perform, and as I said, they want to make that next step, having been in the last 3 semi-finals and come so close. And let's just hope between now and then our players stay fit. But I mean, there's so many other good teams as we've been through that. Dark horses. I mean, even no one's talked about Belgium. They're coming on strong as well. They could be a dark horse. But I mean, the likes of Spain, Germany, France, as we mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see who does really well. They've got some that they just keep evolving, and it just keeps the standard, and the matches just keep getting better every time. So let's just hope for a good tournament, and let's just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, what I really want to say is the nation really get behind the Lionesses, actually, because, we know how football kind of brought everybody together last summer at a difficult time, and everyone came together for the football, and that was great. And let's hope next summer can be the same. Everyone can get behind the Lionesses, and hopefully they'll do well. And I don't see any reason why they can't, because they're a good team with a great coach, and obviously a lot of Arsenal players in there as well, which is nice. And Nigel says he'll definitely be following the Arsenal women this time. There's a lot of Arsenal women in the tournament next summer, so that's going to be good. There'll be a lot of
hopefully
games.
They don't go overboard with the fans like they did in the final, because that will just spoils it. And
no, I'm sure it won't. I mean, I think women's football's slightly different, isn't it? Maybe in the type of people that go. But I just want the country to get behind them really as much as possible. And, they deserve it, because it's, women's football, as we've said on this show a lot of times, has improved so much over recent years. The quality of the football, the standard of the coaching and everything else. And it deserves the big platform that it's now getting with a TV deal. And the fact that we've got a tournament over here in England, a big tournament next summer, is great as well. And, the second summer in a row where England are hosting games in a big tournament, it's great that women are taking centre stage, and that'd be great to see. Gary's in the chat as well from DWTT, so good evening, Richard. Matt, how you doing, Gary? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to tune into his channel, DWTT. He's also in the Arsenal fan circle as well on YouTube. There's some good stuff there, so definitely check that out as well. So, but obviously, big game this weekend for the Arsenal women on Sunday, FA Cup semi-final. It's exciting, but I am a little bit nervous about it, actually. And the conversation that we've had tonight maybe hasn't helped, because the international stuff, and we know that we're going to suffer a little bit more than Brighton on that side of it because of our squad. And they've got some good players, Brighton. I mean, we didn't even mention Cagman, did we? Anissa Cagman, she's a great player.
Yeah, that's another one.
So, difficult. It's going to be a tough game, isn't it? But let's hope we can win, because I quite fancy going to Wembley in December. That could be quite fun. Yeah, it'll be freezing. Yeah,
go and get tickets for the final if you could.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought getting tickets shouldn't be a big problem, should it? Really? I mean, I don't know how many.
Sale, pretty much. Yeah, they're already on sale, I think.
Yeah, so I think getting tickets might not necessarily be an issue. Hopefully not, because I definitely would love to go to that game. I think it'd be great experience as well. And I believe that it's going to be one of the bigger women's FA Cup finals, especially if Arsenal do go through, it's going to be a big game. Whoever wins the other semi-final, isn't it? Two of the big teams in England. So it could be a great day, actually, a great experience. So I definitely would like to be there.
Absolutely.
but we'll see. Obviously, a long way to go still. 90 minutes on Sunday, of course, first to come, and we can't take it for granted. We got the draw we wanted, but it's no good if we don't perform on a day.
No, exactly, mate, exactly.
You know, we need to treat it like we are playing Chelsea or Man City. We need to treat it like, I'm sure he will. I'm sure Jonas won't take it lightly because he'll know how tough Brighton are going to be. Nigel says that theoretically this could be the first of 3 FA Cup semis this season.
Conti Cup, I think he's talking about, isn't he?
Yeah, 3 cup semi-final. Yeah, I mean, let's hope let's hope we get to 3 cup finals, maybe 4, get the Champions League final as well. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Do everything. I don't know. Maybe
you never know. 5 trophies, you never know. 5 trophies.
Yeah. Well, we've got 5 to play for. Let's try and go for it. I'm sure Jonas will want to win them all if you can, but take one at a time. And obviously, this is the next one and the first trophy that anyone can win this season anyway, the FA Cup final. So let's hope we perform well on Sunday and we get through, and then at least we've got a big final to look forward to. And then on top of everything else, being top of the WSL and stuff like that, and obviously Champions League games coming up in a couple of weeks as well. So loads of exciting stuff actually for the Arsenal women at the minute. It's a great time, isn't it? And it's great that we can be to enjoy it all, and do these shows as well, talking about it, which is great. So yeah, I mean, fantastic. I mean, obviously, thanks to you guys for coming on again. Andreas, thank you very much for coming in again. You enjoyed the show?
Yeah, of course I did, as always. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's really great to have such a fantastic season, such an exciting season, and to talk about it. Yeah, it's fun for us, and I hope it's fun for those who are watching us.
Yeah, no, I hope so as well. I mean, the show's been doing quite well. We seem to get a lot of people watching, which is great. I hope that everyone's enjoying it. Certainly seems to be. There's some good feedback on the show, which is nice. And it's like you said, it's good maybe that Arsenal women are enjoying a good season, and we can enjoy our weekly chats about it as well, which is great. So hopefully, may that continue throughout the season. Obviously, Matt as well. Thank you very much for coming on again. You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the girls proving me wrong every week. I'm enjoying having these chats with everyone. I'm enjoying the fan base as a whole has just been going from that Villa game. That was my first game that I've ever been to. They're so welcoming, and to see that in person instead of just sitting behind the screen, sitting at this as we were last season, it's brilliant. And I think we've got to owe everything, not just to you, Richard, but to everyone else for just saying this is a lot different than men's football. And we're not going to exclude anybody. To be honest, I don't know a lot about women's football. I just get by. And as you can see from my my predictions, if you put predictions, I've got so many L's.
It's all right. We know what you mean.
I'm still learning.
But it's good. It's good community, and we want to keep it going. We want to see women's football progressing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Women's football deserves a bigger audience. It deserves shows like this to be talking about it because, and you can see from the response to the TV coverage this year as well. And of course, don't forget our game, of course, on Sundays on the BBC as well, which is nice. Although I will be covering it on the channel as well. Of course, Emma, you're going to be at the game as we said. Thanks again for coming on. Fantastic as always. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's really good as always. Good to have it back. And it's a bit boring when you don't have it like we did last week, but it's good to have it back.
Yeah, no, of course it is. It's nice to obviously have our weekly chats and stuff. And obviously there's some big games coming up in the next few weeks as well. So we'll have a lot to talk about, I'm sure, going forward. Obviously next week we've got the West Ham game. Obviously, can Lisa Evans play? Because obviously she's on loan. Is it the same rules in the women's game as the men's game? Is she allowed to play against us?
It's weird, wasn't it? Because Ruby was able to, because she trained with Arsenal, didn't she? And then she trained with Birmingham.
Yeah.
When she was on loan last season, but I don't think she was able to play. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the rules are different. Obviously, I know in the men's game you can't play against a team that you belong to.
Sometimes they insert a clause to say that they can, but it'll be interesting to see whether or not they can or they can't.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if she can play, I suppose. See her playing again, but I'm not sure. Really, we'll have to wait and see about that. We can look at that. Obviously, next week we'll talk about the Brighton game and obviously the West Ham game and the Champions League returns as well, doesn't it? Just after the West Ham game, we've got a double header against that Koge team from Denmark to come out. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Obviously, the plastic pitch over there is going to be tough, so we'll see. Nigel says there, we're gonna do
The
this.
next two, Paul. What's he on about there?
Is there 6 trophies we can possibly win? Let's win them all. I agree.
Five, isn't it? It's 2 FA Cups, Conti, Champions League, WSL. 5, isn't it?
But even
Oh,
again,
and
we get the Super
Charity
Cup.
Shield, don't forget that as
Yeah,
well.
the Charity
And
Shield.
Wine
Yeah,
Cup.
the Super
No,
Cup as
that
well.
that didn't happen this year, though. It only happened last year, didn't it? Oh, I don't know.
Actually, no, they didn't
We
have
can
one
play
this year, did they?
I
No.
think we won the Mine Cup, so I don't know if that counts. as a
Yeah,
trophy.
we'll count that. Count everything. As many as we can get. Let's get them all. Let's get them all. That's all we want. We want to see as many as
To
possible.
be happy, I would just be happy with 2 or 3, but let's see.
Well, to be honest, I'll be happy with one first. Let's win one. This first one,
Yeah,
FA Cup,
exactly.
and then
Yeah,
let's worry about the rest of them
Momentum
later.
go in.
And if we end up with 2 or 3, fantastic. It'd be brilliant. I mean, let's see what happens. It's a long way to go yet. Nice to say, great show as always. No, thank you very much, Nigel, for tuning in.
Take care, Nigel.
And thanks to everybody else in the chats as well. Thanks to everyone who's watched and supported the channel and the show. It's a busy weekend. I'll be doing a watch along of Arsenal Leicester tomorrow lunchtime in the men's side of things. Premier League game, big game that is actually as well. Obviously, the Arsenal men have turned their form around recently, so it's good to see. And hopefully, there'll be another good game tomorrow away at Leicester. So I'll be covering that game. I'll be going live about 12:15, 12:30 kickoff. So it's an early one. And then, of course, on Sunday, the big game of the weekend, maybe the Arsenal women in the semi-final against Brighton. So I think it's 4:45 kickoff, isn't it? So I'll probably go live about 4:30 with all the team news, a bit of build-up and stuff before the game for that one. So loads of stuff on the channel coming up this weekend. So please subscribe if you haven't done and give it a like as well. And I'll see you for the Leicester game tomorrow. So thanks again to Andreas. Thanks again to Matt and to Amar. We'll see you for the Arsenal Women's Show again next Friday as usual. Loads more great stuff to talk about, of course, as always. I'll see you tomorrow for the watch along. The Leicester game is going to be good. I'm sure that'll be a good game as well. So let's hope for 2 good Arsenal victories this weekend, and it'll be nice when it's looking at we can look back on all that to come. So yeah, hopefully that will be the case. So thanks to all you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you watch along tomorrow, and the Arsenal women on Sunday, and then the Arsenal Women's Show with you guys again next Friday. So take it easy, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the games this weekend, especially the Arsenal games, and we'll see you soon. Come on, you goodness. See you later, guys.